this channel makes me a little bit nervous because, you know, if it comes out who I am, then I'm going to have to either erase a bunch of videos because I want to talk about real struggles and real problems, and you can't talk about that stuff because, you know, you might kill a prospect becoming a client because you're frustrated and you want to share something, or your team might realize that things are bleak and want to dip, and so it's very hard to post on this channel because it's like, well, this could be, if I don't do it smart, this could be the end. Been awake for about an hour, getting ready to take a pre-workout and do an ice bath. Because you hear all this stuff about how good ice baths are and whatever. A lot of people say exercising is great for managing stress. Usually take creatine at night. I don't know why, it's just easier to swallow the pill with protein shake. I was up till about 11 p.m. Kids are sick, coughing, and I got up at 4:40. Didn't sleep very well. I'd say the ice bath is good for wiping out fatigue. Pre-workout is 200 milligrams of caffeine. Not gonna lie, I tend to do 250, 300 milligrams, take a little bit extra when I'm super stressed out, which probably does not help with the stress, but it helps me not feel exhausted to deal with everything that comes on your day. It's about 2 degrees above freezing today. This is just as miserable as every day. They say that you should do it because it helps increase dopamine, helps decrease liver fat, causes no increase in cortisol, increases mental toughness. Could all be BS, I don't know. Try whatever you can when you're an entrepreneur and you're stressed to the max. So just try and keep your mind under control. I have a lot of baseline anxiety, whether or not I'll be able to pay my people on Friday. Faced this a lot of weeks, unfortunately. Woke up feeling kind of nauseous from it, like I was gonna vomit. That's the life. It does enable you to do some cool things, you know. I can go out with my family in the middle of the day, go enjoy my kids at the park, but you never really lose the constant anxious and nausea in the back of your head. At least I don't at this stage. Get all the health benefits of a cold bath with 10 minutes under 59 degrees. This is about 34 degrees, so it's way colder than it actually needs to be, so I don't actually need to do 10 minutes. I usually do a couple minutes. I saw a clip of somebody saying that a cold shower is way harder than a cold plunge. I did cold showers for about 2 weeks before I started the plunge. I would say I totally disagree. I think because this immerses your body and keeps it freezing, it's one of the reasons it increases metabolic rate, is that keeps it cold for a long time. A lot of people do cold showers, and then they turn the hot water on. The increased metabolic rate that helps with weight loss is one of the reasons that you shiver. The shivering is actually one of the major factors that help you lose weight. It's easy to put on weight when you're a super stressed out entrepreneur. Then putting on weight just makes you more stressed and hate yourself. Feel unattractive, kills your sex drive. Always do the plunge at the end with my face, because that's really what gives you the wake up. You have more, from what I understand, nervous system receptors in your face than anywhere else. That's really what makes you feel woken up and wiped out. Try to wear the same gym clothes most days. That way I don't have to do laundry all the time. This house was an Airbnb for about a year and a half after we bought it, so it was way more space than we needed, or it's kind of wasteful. Now, without having one, my wife went through some serious anxiety and panic issues that it's hard to sustain the Airbnb. Fortunately, it made us about 30 grand a year, which paid the mortgage, so we didn't have to worry about the cost of the house. We don't have the Airbnb anymore. There's something else to add to the pile. Still shaking from the ice bath. The objective for today is we got about 1,500 in pay, which brings our need down to 7,500 by Friday. I got the numbers back from the accountant of about $20,000 due for taxes. One company, the other company is fine because we pay those taxes throughout the year. We have about that 20,000 in rent that needs to be paid, so overall about 40,000 I need to figure out in the next, 7,500 by Friday. Might as well turn up 10K because crap always happens. 50,000 before taxes are due. It's crazy, man, absolutely crazy. You know, a lot of people think entrepreneurial life is all private jets and Lamborghinis, all that crap, but there's a reason Grant Cardone is in his 50s, 60s, however old he is now, because he probably went bankrupt 5 times on the way there. All the people you see on Shark Tank was really successful investors. Several of them went bankrupt multiple times. In the world of investing in entrepreneurship, it just is one very bad or one bad series of decisions that just screw you. So it's not for the faint of heart. My neighbor across the street, he called the cops on me one time because our vehicle registration went overdue. And it was parked on the street. He's right next to me now. On one hand, I'm grateful for people like that because they keep you straight. On the other hand, kind of a crappy thing to do. Could just, drop by and let me know. But I guess I should have my own house in order. I live in the suburbs, and I find that when I grew up in poor neighborhoods, growing up, the people are way more kind. Still shaking pretty bad. We have about $1 worth of invoices that need to be paid that are sitting out. So if everyone were to actually pay on time, we'd be fine for payroll on Friday, but unfortunately we can't really depend on that because a good handful of clients always pay late, which is super frustrating. Met with a guy who might become a client yesterday, and guy's like in his 60s or 70s, and he's talking about all the businesses he started, and sometimes I meet with a client and they're or a prospect, and they really talk a big game. He brought in a few other people locally, they're all young, entrepreneurial type, and he'd hired them to help run this event. It's so funny because these people who talk the biggest game, it's kind of like the millionaire with the Honda Civic. Like, the people who talk the biggest game always have the least money, or at least they're the tightest with the money. And then you give them pricing and everything, and they end up being like, oh no, that's too expensive, and trying to be like, you know, if this really blows up and does well, we'll have lots of money next year. And the first time you hear it, you're like, yeah, that makes total sense, and you like go out of your way and spend a little time invested in it. And then you realize that this is just something people say a lot. And they keep doing this. Like, this is a repetitive thing that these people do. It's their way of like getting a deal and pretending that there's gold at the end, whatever the saying is. No, you just think we're dumb because we're young entrepreneurs. It's like when you provide a service or a product, I don't care if it's a 28-year-old or a 68-year-old, if it's the same product or service, same quality, it's worth the same thing. You can't just pay somebody less because they're younger, or try and trick them into thinking like next year there'll be lots of money so you should work for free. It's a bunch of bull crap. I don't know if that'll turn into anything. This is one of the reasons these are the realities of entrepreneurship.